Now, the community of Deelpan Village in Tswaing Local Municipality in the northwest is still reeling following damaging floods in the area earlier this year. Residents say they have not been properly assisted. Earlier this week, the programming committee concluded that it will assess the current situation in the area and look into what happened to the millions of rands meant to assist that community. For more on this, we are joined by the DA Northwest Caucus leader, Freddy Sonakile. Mr. Sonakile, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Now, the Provincial Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs indicated in June that in a presentation, the National Ad Hoc Committee had 67 million rands that had been made available for the disaster relief funds. What do we know of those funds so far?
So far, based on the presentation that they had given to the Ad Hoc Committee of the National Parliament, they had divided the amount into different departments. You would know that your Department of Agriculture had mentioned there that it has provided some sort of relief in terms of providing cattle and stuff to farmers who had actually lost their stuff. Public Works had indicated that they've came in terms of roads that were damaged. Economic Development had said that it had resuscitated tech shops that were damaged as a result of the floods. And caucus had indicated that they were working on plans of bringing new human settlement areas, and municipalities, of course, 3 of them, had also indicated that they provided some sort of relief from those funds and social development with food parcels. That's what they had indicated in the report.
With those indications, have any of those come into fruition?
Based on the visit that we undertook to Deelpan 2 weeks back, we found that some of the houses are still submerged underwater. If you can look at a picture of some of the houses 5 months ago and look at them now again, you'd realize that it is basically still the same. Most people are still living with their neighbors and relatives. Basically, the situation is still the same, if not worse. The only people that we managed to speak to who could say that there were some things that they have received from the provincial government, be it in the form of a municipality or department, were only talking to gumboots and food parcels that they had to go and queue at the community library and be given daily. That's the only thing that they could see. Then they've been saying that they've been trying to get hold of the government to come back and tell them that the millions that they're hearing about on reports, where are they?
Well, the Cocta provincial spokesperson, Solofelo Matibedi, has come out and said that the land had been identified and contractors had also been appointed. However, due to the stress that was directed to those contractors by local government based on the fact that, or other local businesses, was based on the fact that those local businesses were not involved in the process of them being able to restore the province. How is it that the contractors that were chosen for restoring Deelpan did not involve any of the community businesses in that area?
Yeah, these are definitely questions that we will be asking as well from the side of the committee. You'd remember, as the Democratic Alliance, we've been putting pressure on the legislature to say, let's go for an ad hoc that will look holistically into the issues of Deelpan. Remember, there's not only the issue of building those houses for those people, but there's an outstanding issue also of the temporary structures. We went there trying to locate those temporary structures as well. We understand the issue of building. That is a long-term plan that the department had to assist the people of Deelpan. But they had a short-term plan also in terms of human settlements in the form of temporary structures. And they were at, I think, if I recall well, 480 per structure, 1,000. But we could not even see one. We saw just an area where it was said that it was going to be there. And remember, for them to also be talking long-term plans. Long-term plans in terms of human settlements require them to have done what we call public participation with the residents to say, now we're going to be moving you because of the reasons that we have outlined to you that, or we would have reported to you, to another area, and this is where the area is going to be. And if we recall well, and from what the people told us, those processes of public participation were not completed. There were still people who were not at ease with moving, and government still had a duty to take them on and explain the reasons for moving while there were those issues of their graves and staff being there that they were used or accustomed to. So that process was not done. So for the department to now be talking about those long-term projects that already are marred with issues like you explaining that there are already issues of local contractors and all that, it's quite problematic. But I think it's questions that we'll be asking and we'll be needing answers on, starting with the short-term temporary structures.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, the DA has welcomed the decision by the programming committee to include a week-long program to assess the current situation at Deelpan. What should this program entail? Mr. Sonakile, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. I was just asking the week-long program in order to assess the current situation at Deelpan. What should it entail?
We have this portfolio committee.
We seem to be losing you there, Mr. Freddy Sonakile. Are you back with us?
Yeah, I think I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I'm saying that we actually met as a portfolio committee yesterday, whereby we mapped out the plan of what we want the week to be like. On Tuesday, we will be meeting stakeholders. As part of the stakeholders, it is the host of the area. You know that Deelpan is built on traditional land. So we'll be meeting with the host to understand the type of engagement is had with government, what were promises that were made, where they fulfilled, if there were anything that was given to him that is written. We'd love to see that in order to be able to trace. We'd also be meeting with some of the residents that were directly affected to understand that when last did they see government, what were they promised and what were they given. Then we'll also try to meet with the stakeholders on Tuesday, including the likes of the gift of the givers and all others that appear on the list of people who donated during that. Then on Wednesday, we intend on meeting with the premier of the province as the head of the province to just give us a understanding of where we are now in terms of Deelpan and where have we been. Then we'll be having the MEC of COGTA, because COGTA is the one that is dealing with disasters and heading disasters in the province. We'll be having that MEC explaining to us as to what has they done, and also like he did, the MEC of COGTA is also the MEC of human settlements. So she'll also take us through in terms of human settlement issues as to where are we, what happened, how much have they spent, and all that. Then from there, we'll be taking the MEC for social development, because it was a key stakeholder. They have been there. The SASSA track has been at Deelpan ever since the disaster. So we want to know that every day what have they been doing there, because there's also been issues with the beneficiary lists, whereby people are saying that they appear on the beneficiary list but they've never received anything. There are people who seemingly have been benefiting double or 3 times than others. So we'd want to get into that space. Then the last department on Wednesday, I think, will be the Department of Agriculture to speak on the farming support that they had said that they had provided in July. Then on Thursday, we'll continue with the Department of Public Works that will speak on issues of roads. Then it will be followed by municipalities, starting with Molema, that has been in the news, with issues of the gumboots and all the support that they've provided there. Then we'll speak to Tswaing Municipality and Mafikeng. Then we intend as a committee to do a report in the morning on Friday. Then later in the Friday, have a media briefing that will outline our way forward based on the findings.
All right, that sounds like quite a comprehensive plan that possibly will see the residents of Deelpan seeing some restoration with regards to their belongings. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.